Hey folks, it's a bright and sunny Sunday, and I had a good day wheeling yesterday with the Jeep enthusiast of Eastern PA. I figured today is the perfect day to show you guys how to take care of the undercarriage of your Jeep after you've been in the muck. So stay tuned. Hey folks, remember that if you like what I do here, the best thing you can do for me is to subscribe to the channel. I've just passed 700 subscribers, and the more subscribers I get, the closer I get to 1,000, the closer I get to getting back into the YouTube Partner Program that they took away from me a year and a half ago, when I only had about 50 subscribers, but I had met the old requirements. Anyway, point is, the best thing you can do for me right now is subscribe. Also, I've developed a couple new shirts for the SWBCrawler Teespring shop. There's a link for that down in the description of the video. Please go check them out. Some pretty cool wheeling specific phrases and catchy shirts that you can check out. Or you can just get my logo on a shirt and support me that way. So, and stickers. There's stickers. All right, on to the video. On the underside of the Jeep, there's a ton of little nooks and crannies where you could find mud and muck and whatever that just sort of gets stored, including the inside of the frame. So I'm going to try to cover all that today. I'm using just a standard garden hose. You can see it laying there. You could use a pressure washer if you have one. I don't have one handy. I'll get one of these days. I'm also going to try to clean off some of the drivetrain underneath the Jeep because it's just a good idea to not let that all get built up. The more mud that gets caked on the inside of the underside of the Jeep, the more chance you have for rust. And rust is a bad thing. Not to mention the fact that when you're underneath there working on the thing, which I'm sure you are, you don't want mud falling on you, right? So yeah, this is all just good, not just preventative maintenance, but it's good to keep mud out of your eyes when you're working in your garage. So yeah, let's get on to it. So this may be tough to see just because it's dark under here, but you should be looking at the top of the spring bucket on the rear. Things tend to collect in there. You'll have to rinse that good. This is, of course, the frame rail, the top of the frame rail. You'll see it collects up on top of here. That's the bracket for the control arm. It'll pile up on top of there. The muffler, you can see it just coats the frame. Everything under here. I don't know if you can see this well on the camera, but you can see in that hole there's just like a mountain of dirt. That's inside the frame rail. Gotta make sure you try to get that out of there. A belly pan will collect mud and dirt. That's not quite as much of a concern, but you should rinse it out if you can. Up underneath there, things like the drive shaft and whatnot, just rinse them off good. A good note is after you are done cleaning everything well, you may want to re-grease all of your U-joints and whatnot. It's a good thing to do after you've been off-road anyway. See a bunch of bracketry and whatnot up here. It's a good thing to just sort of hit them with the hose or the pressure washer. I have my inner fender liners out, so you want to clean the inside of the fenders really well. This stuff back here is exposed. This stuff back here is exposed because the inner fender liner is out. So you want to rinse that really well. This is just one of the downsides to having the inner fender liners out. And up underneath here, it loves to get up inside of there when you're off-road. The frame rails back here, the bumper, all around the place. And guys, this is just one side of the rear of the Jeep. Move to the front. So of course, don't forget the brakes. You can see down in there, disc brakes on the front of this thing. If you've got drum brakes, dirt can get inside of the drums, and that's even worse. So not good stuff. Up under here, on top of the tower for the spring, a good place to keep clean. There's another one of those access holes in the frame. I'll show you. You can stick your hose in there and let it all rinse out. It's a good thing. Up here at the front of the frame, I usually rinse, I try to flush the front half of the frame and the rear half of the frame because of this hump here, right? So you can get mud collected in here, not quite as bad as the center section of the frame, but you can get it in there and you want to try to get it out. These toe access points here are great for rinsing out the inside of the frame. You can get a hose in there, or you can just use it as a drain. Your steering, look at how much mud is caked on my steering. I'm just going to rinse that off good with the hose. There's a good shot of the brakes again and the steering knuckles. This of course applies to both sides of the Jeep. I'm not going to show you both sides because they're pretty much the same. Now that I have this new steering, or new engine skid, I have to clean on top of that as well. Got some barking dogs. So here's a good view of the underside of the frame. So right here and back there are good access points to let water run out. You stick your hose in here and let it run through. It rinses this whole frame rail out. And the reason that's important is mud likes to collect in the low points of this frame, which are right above all these bolts. That's why it's such a problem on the TJs and YJs, that these bolts seize up and then you can't get them out. That's a bad thing as well. You can see my 4.0 is leaking like 4.0s generally do. I'm going to deal with that, but that's another video. All up underneath here is all of the shift lever mechanisms and cooling lines and whatnot for your transmission. It's not a bad idea to rinse that stuff off. And there you go. One slightly cleaner Jeep. Now you'll notice in the whole video, I didn't use any soap. My goal today was to rinse out all the chunky mud that collects moisture and causes rust. Cleaning the Jeep is a whole different story. You also might have noticed that the drain hole on the rear of the frame it was sort of at an upward angle from where the inlet was. So not all the crap from inside the frame gets out. You saw me sticking my finger in there and jostling stuff around. That's to get all the mud that's collected back there out of that bend in the frame. There is a fix for that, but it means drilling another hole in the frame, and that's a whole other video. I'll probably do that one of these days, and I'll record it for you LJ folks, because it's kind of specific. I don't think the TJ has that problem. Maybe it does. I have no idea about the JK. So there you have it. I hope this has been helpful, and remember folks that if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like, and yeah, all the awesome stuff that you do for people you love, because you love me, right? Anyway, thanks for watching.